Next, we generate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take on the responsibility to free all other sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all other sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and lower realms. Even though I should take on the responsibility, I do not have the abilities to do so now. Who has the abilities? Only those who have achieved the perfectly complete enlightenment, the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all other sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment by all means.
Sorry, forgot to show. You say good about it. You know, the region, no better. What, how to say, no? You don't mention it. Now we got the region with the region of the second.
Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into a complete mundis at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, that is one's mind becoming in one taste with emptiness, the lack of inherent existence. These transform into a white five-pronged vajra on top of the mundis.
Next,
we meditate on emptiness for a short while. That I exist, neither intrinsically one with nor intrinsically different from attributes. Thus, I do not exist intrinsically.
logical goes ninja waka is away na. She's a party to the night, secret of sugar that you have not seen the machine. Welcome the phones, the Jimmy Wilson and machine. That's Jimmy Language. The song was Jimmy. She's in the water. It's bishop of a Jew, weather kind of achievement. So to go say, actually, that. He gets at it, which is.
As I always say, it's very important to conjoin whatever virtue that we do through our three doors with the practice of six perfections. If we're able to conjoin it in this way, then the merits that we accumulate will become extensive. So the first practice is generosity. The nature of generosity is the intentions of giving. So these 2 hours of listening, contemplation and meditation on Dharma is for the sake of purifying the suffering, achieving the happiness of all sentient beings.
What about it's just what the person that's really was my worship? How about that? Yes, the chief because not the not the chief, but soon money. It's over the chief. It's over the chief because it's all what it's first.
Next is morality. The nature of morality is a mind of abandonment. I will abandon my physical and verbal negativities when I listen to, contemplate and meditate on Dharma. Next is patience. The nature of patience is an undisturbed mind. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, will patiently accepting any physical or mental hardships. Next is joyous effort. Joyous effort is the mind that takes delight in virtue. So I will take delight in the virtue of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma. Next is meditative concentration. Meditative concentration is the mind that single-pointedly focuses on any virtuous object. I will single-pointedly focus my mind on the Dharma object that I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on. Last one is wisdom. Wisdom is an awareness or knower that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. So I will properly and unmistakably understand the words and the meanings of the Dharma that I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on. Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I achieve the state of enlightenment. For this purpose, I'm going to listen to the holy teachings and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings. Today we are going to start with the outline, the method for generating vigilance. Yeah. So regarding these, there are like five outlines. So the first one talks about we need to generate vigilance or introspections in order to recognize or notice anxiety and excitement.
记住了这个问题，可能我我们告诉我在心里用的，心记住了这个问题，是吧？定力的心理，记住了心理高的点吧，定力是记住吧，记住呢，那心理学一点嘛，他都看到，那心理定力是读的，对吧？心理记住的心理是读的，也是吧？OK。
So it's not enough to merely have an understanding of laxity and excitement. So just understand what laxity is and excitement itself. Right? It's not enough. So have an understanding of laxity and excitement itself is not enough. So we must generate vigilance that knows, that recognize precisely whether laxity or excitement have arisen during our meditations or not. So in fact, we need to cultivate powerful vigilance. So not only that we need the vigilance that identifies laxity and excitement, as soon as so this Geshe-la will later. So we need to generate a powerful vigilance, recognize the arising of laxity and excitement.
那老师心理的，他考虑过是呢，那我信心的，信心的讲到，管理起来管理的时候多，那管理的管理是管理习惯的时候，一个环境有啥嘛，就生活嘛是吧？今天就讲这个是，那生活对第一层有多少嘛？那心理建设的说的包括，你往那点开始，嘛是，结果的心理就是说，结果也是多啊，心理起来结果也是，我定力起到，那是个吧。如果我发觉出来的那个东西是从心里边，不能我觉得你，什么有的，你看到呀，心里的，那个我理解，是吧？那对我说，心理阶段的我说，心理蛮容易的，把钱，是吧？你兄弟心里就把钱给他，心理蛮容易就把钱你了，吧？那你心里，这个我心里蛮容易的。
So in fact, in your cultivations of powerful vigilance, you not only need the vigilance that identifies laxity and excitement as soon as they arise, you also need the vigilance that knows them when they are just about to arise, but have not actually arisen. So there are two types of vigilance here. So the first vigilance is when laxity and excitement arise, then we need the vigilance that knows the arising of laxity and excitement. And the second type of vigilance is when they are about to arise. They haven't actually arisen. They have not arisen yet. They are about to arise. And then we need kind of vigilance that knows, knows laxity and excitement. They are about to arise. And we need the vigilance to recognize such arising of such laxity and excitement when they are about to arise. So as it says in the second and third stages of meditation, if you notice laxity in the mind or suspect it might arise. So it refers to the second type of vigilance.
这个可是我可许在我对心理阶段的，我的经验的我把它是蛮清楚，心理阶段觉得熊才有就是心理也是这个阶段你有那有吧？我觉得，是什么呀？我的阶段面目在导播说，因为这工作告诉，当他心里没进入了，我的心里，我把这个心里这学了这个什么有些吧，我等到别当说别，你们或者是国内起码是有很多啊，我的起码是有的，对吧？那因为这工作告诉，企业买进的，为了在导报，希望能够这个是等于倒闭我的，也是这样的，给他接，有没有那个？那对，好的，我们他们是吧？是吧？
Yeah, so these two types of vigilance I've mentioned before. One is the vigilance. So we need vigilance that recognize laxity and excitement as soon as they arise, and we also need the second type of vigilance is before they arise. When they are about to arise, then we also need vigilance to recognize that as well. So, and this is supported by quotations from sages of meditation. If you notice laxity in the mind or suspect it might arise. So another way of saying this is when they are in danger of rising, then we need the kind of vigilance that knows such arising.
哦，对，我刚才在讲到我是叔叔的，我可能是他是别人的的，叔叔的定义了，叔叔就是我可能，我他叔叔的，我他可能是把这看到我们一把，一直牛都来炒我啊，那这里牛都也是那个就是一点点味了啊，青蛙这里不啊，我他的叔叔的牛啊，可能他可能我这里，我创造的，是不是不是我把出来的。我这里啥子，就是那个是下来去，西边的下来去，我的西边的下来去的话都，你不会就超过，西边的他根本不容易，西边的可多了个，西边的嘛容易，我那西边的西边的年办法你就超过，也是，这个搞呢，西边的认为的，你帮你那嘛，但是给帮一些嘛的话，你帮所有他们的话，西边帮一些嘛的话，西边的好呀。这个你心里的可能，年度的就，我在心里的年末的这一丢，能够解决的，我能够解决超心的，他这个心里可能会年一些什么来，我在心里的年末的这个是说心里好过的，真正的心里的年末这一块的，我的年末的心里跟我的心里不一样吧。这个东西，是吧？你不会是吧？我你想我的是看的，你别听我的话。
So this is vigilance is very important. So because this vigilance checks or standards whether the mixity or excitement is the reason or not, or is about to arise or not. So this is the functions of vigilance. So vigilance is not the direct antidote to laxity nor excitement. Okay? This vigilance is not the direct antidote to laxity or excitement. But vigilance is the cause to give rise to the antidotes to laxity and excitement. Vigilance is the cause that produce that produce the antidotes, direct antidotes to laxity and excitement. So laxity, vigilance is not the direct antidote. It is the cause to produce the direct antidotes to laxity and excitement. And when laxity is about to arise, when one's mind feels a bit like tired, feels a bit like feels a bit like tired, then that is a sign that laxity is about to arise. Similarly, when one's mind feels like about to scatters to other objects. So when he is about to scatters to other objects, then that is the time when excitement is about to rise. So we need the vigilance not only knows the arising, but when they have arisen. So we also need that kind of vigilance when they are about to arise, and this vigilance can detect laxity and excitement when they are about to arise.
我那里是不是我觉得，那个我们就是讲的，你都得你学没有，你记得心里的那个进步的也是咱们都啥情况，你心里你心里的那个我也是个啥情况。那么心里那个我是我的，我呢，那得刚才心里我的，也是不把的，我
因为你看，我他的嘛了，
对我嘛，你嘛对啦，我可以在这上东西很多什么多啊，我老在这看到哪里呢？我看心里嘛对把多什么多，我心里嘛对没有啊，我的心里多，哎呦，也是，你往多也是，可是心里嘛对了，我的心里嘛的，我应该对没有。多，你买那希望，如果你当然买幸福。
And it says that if we do not rely on vigilance, or if we do not rely on vigilance, then there is a great danger that we will follow the laxity and excitement, or fall under the control of laxity and excitement.
Oh, that's it. I need to get that. I'm a trainer to Kana. Maybe Martin you want to joke on the years. What I'm going to say now. What I'm going to suppose now. What's the Chigi Martina? Only pay. Come on, hit Tangata. If you see what I mean, if you want to look at that, what the people will charge you, so the big song on it. Oh, by now, at the end, you mean, Chum, this. Come on, hit Tangata, come on, hit the polish that. He did the little Martin Baho. You know, which one will hit you. This song on the board, Javaina. Go by now. What that? Go to hearing about the what you made you go to my is what. No Jimmy, no do it together. And she gets you much in single is. The hit on that. He goes you much in single. You get you by now. And now, taking shut up my jails in that. Yeah, oh, your money. Come on, what's that? Maybe more than this. That. That's also the basic should be like what's the each style. Each style. Yes.
Until you generate these kinds of vigilance, you cannot identify laxity or excitement if it arises. You might assert that from this point to that point, there was flawless meditation without laxity or excitement, but that would be unsubstantiated because without that powerful vigilance, you cannot be certain. So if one do not rely on vigilance or do not produce vigilance at all, and even though if you claim that, I do meditation for 25 minutes, and then from the first minute up to the end, then my meditation is flawless. There is no laxity or there is no excitement. So my meditation is flawless. You may claim in that way, but the reality is you might not be the same as you claim, because since you have not generated vigilance, then how could you tell whether laxity or excitement has had arisen or not in your meditations? So if you cannot tell whether laxity or excitement has arisen in your meditations or not, then how could you say that your meditation is flawless?
What is that's the Kanda also, that's also with Kanda, the Kanda, Martin Baina, what the Kanda, I'm very considered, we have a so much home. She was look at the two which is the Kalashi. But she did the good is she did the Martin Baina. She did find a big washing up. She did one washing up. She want Tamala more than 20. She should have been she want Tamala and 20 more than she want money. About my device. She said to our family. So I did that go to the she one. Thinking Martin Baina. He Martin Baina. That come out his finger and Japanese. This is party wanted the Baina. Wanted. What Tamu want to do at Minga. She want Tamu want to Sumbaina. Want the Baina. That we are this. But she want Tamu to move anyway. Take more days. Kind of what need to say that. You said that daughter. How many is someone to say it? She want Tamu want to do everything. This way. But the wish you.
And Jerome quoted distinguishing the middle from the extremes to support this point when he says, once laxity and excitement are realized. So realized or recognized or noticed. So they are recognized or realized or noticed by excitement, by vigilance, sorry. So that teaches that you need vigilance to notice laxity and excitement. This quotation shows that we need vigilance to notice it, to recognize it, to realize the arising of laxity and excitement. Therefore, if the vigilance that cannot fail to know laxity and excitement has not arisen, another way of saying this is, if you do not rely on vigilance, then you could meditate for a long time, or even as short as 25 minutes, and even spend years with subtle laxity and excitement without noticing that they are occurring. So you might do meditations for 25 minutes, you might claim that your meditation is flawless. Since you do not rely on vigilance, then even if you do the meditation for 25 minutes or even years, then your meditation is influenced by laxity and excitement. It's just that you do not notice them only.
Oh, Mishra. That's what they were. 我们刚才学习的那个五步的也是其他，他学习的嘛，现在我的习的，我中华文化的东西也是在跟他地图在什么啊，也是我不是跟修的对吧？因为我不是跟修的，但我不是那种学习的那个我不是，他学习的嘛，所以呢，就觉得可能有的是呢，跟你在对起吧，你根本你这个不，你什么东西，希望他们对不上来，比这个了。
So under this outline, the method for generating vigilance. So under this outline, there are five outlines, and the first one is those that we need to rely on vigilance. And the second point, it talks about if we do not rely on vigilance, then what are the faults? So this paragraph talks about these 2 points. Well, then how do you generate vigilance? So this talks about mindfulness being the cause for vigilance. Mindfulness being the cause for vigilance. So well, then how do you generate vigilance? One very essential cause is the method for maintaining mindfulness presented above. If you can generate continuous mindfulness in that manner, you will be able to stop letting the object and mentally wandering off. You will thereby reverse long-term insensitivity to the arising of laxity and excitement and come to recognize laxity and excitement easily. So, when we cultivate concentrations, mindfulness is the very essential, most important factors that we need to cultivate in concentration or in meditations. And such mindfulness, we need to cultivate all the time. So we need to cultivate continuous mindfulness in our meditations. So if we have a good quality of mindfulness, another way of saying this is a stable mindfulness, then it will be very easy to generate vigilance. So this mindfulness ties the mind through the of observations. For example, the Buddha's image. So like the rope, like a rope. So if I give mindfulness like a rope, ties the mind to the object of observation, such as Buddha's image. So if we have a strong and stable mindfulness, it will stop distractions, the mind from being distracted to other objects. And even if laxity and excitement arises for a short while, if we have a strong and stable mindfulness, this laxity or excitement can be reversed easily.
我看到了西域就整个这个土地，你也不学会呢，整个边是都我的基本呢，按照西域是用秋季结尾呢，咱讲到浪上吧，这个没事，浪上都也是哇。
全部我所原来的信
没说了，但现在的信没说的话，全部的也不学会呢，他整个的学会了，全部的觉得 自己搞的新的了，另外呢，这个把地气吧，让处理另外的垃圾新的我先不能说，把新的垃圾多也是，这边人们就是新的垃圾，多也是吧，垃圾里头的，那马上是新的，平时呢，你这样的，有没有在人家的给他修的时候啊，就这一点，你说个什么遗忘的话，他过去遗忘的了，对的，这样也是是吧？过去遗忘。那是这个遗忘对的，那遗忘也不成为呢？对，是过去个了，我上对对，跟心里有的时候就把垃圾的心里好过的是吧？是吧？对吧？有的是，我到这个时候我在电话的给节目的也是在的，对吧？我的那个，你就这么等的给节目的也是在的，是吧？
So if our mindfulness is strong and stable, so even if mindfulness degenerates a little bit, and laxity or excitement arise, or they are about arise, these vigilance can tell immediately that they have a reason or they are about to rise. So, and all these depends on our yeah, so this is very clear when from the perspective of your own experience. So based on your own experience, then you can tell that amount of time it takes you to know laxity and excitement when mindfulness has deteriorated with the amount it takes you when it has not. So the first case is the mindfulness has deteriorated, and the second case is when the mindfulness has not degenerated. So the amount of time it takes you to recognize laxity and excitement, then there is a difference.
我那地方都搞到坚决的，为他们这个你讲的是的话，他这把的西经就一般的这个几个地界的长度啊，这坚决的，他们的经验多啊，这个心里吧，我那地方说的，我就这把一个人，这把给多的把他心里的接了被，你说我这个多老啊的，我我们这么老三多是吧？你起码有的也是，那对于他们嘛，是吧？他的一些这些的。
And Jeremiah quoted entering the Bodhisattva way, and also explanations of distinguishing the middle from the extremes to support this point that when mindfulness is there to stay, the gate of the mind to guard it, when vigilance will. And he said, in the explanation, he says, also explains mindfulness as the cause of vigilance.
那就是习惯的嘛，说他身体触不着邪了。 写了个西经就让去新意思的，因为错误中的，给了几个说法了，你可能嘛说，猫的说法，说那你说个几个东西，几个跟对象的，比如啊，我经常是，那手的时候把错误中，你用完能做，你说个几个，你的在内，我这个是吧，给你搞个角色的。
And the fourth point talks about vigilance being the watchman, check whether your mind has scattered or not, or whether your mind is distracted or not, or whether your mind has fallen under the control of laxity or excitement or not. So vigilance is the one to check all this.
老板我们现在错误中写了几个的，那个的，是吧？那哪个来说过了，目的啊这边，我说的对，你就过去了，你对了，说当你过去了，你别说什么当，你什么当我的，那个的西西的，是这个的，如是，不是的对，对吧？你话是大的，不这个别说的，那个的都，我在等这个，过去了，不是下来去怎么对了，这个是我说。 下来给我们这个企业，我以前是不一接到这个，是一个给中国市场的，也是比如啊，我这个手段，那一的的，现在没过来，年度门度，是吧？那年度门度，我在这样是这么就必须你把大年度呢，我这样，我是我这样，那是你讲的那个也是，第一什么的，两点半。 你买这边的呀？我有没什么人？我不懂多。
So this vigilance is like the army, or yeah, it's like the army that check whether enemy has arrived or not. or when they are about to come or not. So this vigilance is like a guard, is a security guard, or is a watchman, or a guard. So and this vigilance checks whether the mind stays on the objects of observations or not. So as it says on the text, one such cause is to focus the mind on the apprehended objects, such as an image of the baby's body and the like, or on the apprehending subjects, such as the experience of mere awareness or mere clarity. So this vigilance checks whether the mind is on the objects of observations or not. So, and if the mind stays on the objects of observations properly, then there is no need to check with vigilance. But we need to check once a while with vigilance whether the mind still stays on the objects or not. Yeah, so in accordance with that, and entering the Bodhisattva way also says, investigating again and again the states of body and mind. In brief, just that alone is the definitions of the guarding of vigilance. So if vigilance check whether the mind stays on the object or not, and if the mind stays properly on the object, then you only check once a while with vigilance. So if the mind stays properly on the object, if you keep checking with vigilance, then it will become a fault in your meditations. So you need to check once a while, and if the mind stays on the object properly, then you check once a while. If not, it will become a fault. So next point, it talks about how to maintain mindfulness and vigilance in one's concentration. So we need to differentiate how to generate them. How to generate mindfulness and vigilance. So by doing this, you therefore generate vigilance that is aware of any laxity and excitement when they are about to arise. So this is the way to maintain vigilance in one's meditation. So this vigilance is to check or aware of whether laxity or excitement has arisen in your meditations or not, or are they about to arise or not. So this is how you maintain vigilance in your meditation.
礼拜一晚的，礼拜现在来一晚的，这个我们大道也是，那其实这个多，对，这个谁的，这个大大就了我，当谁了呢？这个我把一晚我录的也是，一晚的我，你不得写的一晚的我，然后是，这个原来一晚的我，那些学了原来一晚，当然大家我那个。我要问很多，公的不是，那
中路的人，中道的人，
中大，中大是这个公给的，double给的，这个是中大是，我理解是，他要不中的中嘛，马上要开始，哇，我的因为这个中嘛马上要开始，马上要开始马上要这个哇，那这个中嘛的马上要开始干啥？那这个谁的把那兄弟把那，我干的嘛都哪样都嘛去哇。哪样都嘛就，你种子，这么要不就哪样的，你往的蛮多，我不往的蛮多，不是，不挺不是，你这个你到我这里头，我的有，你基本我来说，是吧？因为然后就到现在，你这个，你说这个要不你我都，啊，我往的多，我把往的多，我这心里现在跟那个必须得懂啊。而且你的课都念不懂嘛，念不起嘛，
So here it talks about how to maintain mindfulness and vigilance, right? So the meaning of this point is vigilance and mindfulness are the methods and steps of thoughts from arising in your concentration. So this mindfulness and vigilance, they are the methods to stop or prevent thoughts from arising in your concentration or in your meditation. And on the text, it says, by means of applying mindfulness, on the other hand, the forgetfulness of your mind being distracted and wandering off is stopped so that you observe well. You need to distinguish between them. So this mindfulness is it ties your mind to the object of observation, right? And if your meditation, or if your mindfulness is strong and stable, it stops your mind from being distracted. So it stops distractions. So and it will it stops your mind from being controlled or overpowered by laxity and excitement.
那比如啊，那我是觉得，那我把我的心里的念过，这个问题，那可能把念过电视的话，念过电视的时候，但是心里的念过电视的话，念过这些动物的事，你马电白呢，那俺们你这个呢全都有啊，念过电视吧，那也是叫电不做，念过电吧，你这俺们念过电过去，是吧？你是电过去。
So next outline talks about applying the antidotes to laxity and excitement. And then under this outline, there are two outlines. And the first one, it talks about that we need to rely on the antidotes. We need to rely or apply the antidotes.
因为我们明白过程的时间长嘛，吧？时间长嘛，以后我们要为现把钱，时间长嘛，时间长了，我们那现一块的话，我的现在呢，当然年过都我的结束啊。那时候呢，但时间长了呢，我是经过电脑搞的时间，有啊，他们是4年你过来，我15年的，我是安保我。我希望他们那个好好的，你是的，你把它安好，安好的，希望他们，是吧？是你把它当，我记得，我们当的，是把托死，真的地方的话，是个我来当的，我当的，真不钱是多，真的地方，是真不钱，我当的，是很不管，是吧？那时间长不了，就结果呢，你我嘛对吧？那这个是吧？
我这样的看不大，
我那个大是吧？我对那个，那些吧，做啊些吧，谁把的那个， 那谁的中国谁话是的样的，去打倒当，你把打倒样那个打过去，所以你也希望把搞别这个，那个是多。
On the text, it says, through only applying the method for maintaining mindfulness and vigilance, as explained above, strong mindfulness will arise, and even subtle laxity and excitement can be recognized by means of that vigilance, and the fault of not noticing laxity and excitement will not be there. So here it talks about we need to maintain mindfulness and vigilance, and if laxity or excitement arises, then we need to apply the antidotes to it, to laxity or excitement. For example, if laxity arises in our meditations, then vigilance detects the arising of laxity, then we need to apply the antidotes to lighten our mind to the object of observations. So lighten our mind to the object of observations, or we need to uplift our mind. Uplift our mind or tighten our mind to the objects of observation in this context, it means the same thing. So when laxity arises, we need to tighten our mind, or we need to uplift our mind so that our mind stays on the object of observation.
可是我们讲的，你包括不这些平时你们平时大家念过去呢，平均年念过嘛，对吧？也这也是前面念过嘛，对吧？你把的话，新给出呢，念过嘛，对吧？你把讲是吧？那就念不定了，是吧？那念不定是老的嘛，就希望那个不念不的，他刚才新给帮一些吧，但那多多是给他新给的帮一些吧，这是吧？你帮一些吧是吧的？那刚才那看出对了我的，希望了的，先把的，你帮的希望帮的话。
情况不会先把的，
情况不会先把的话，可能人不对话，对不？我但现在的希望全部你这个，谁的真是当的希望的帮了，是吧？你当的，我的，你当的，你希望的帮是吧？希望的帮，这希望的帮的，这希望或者看不的面目，大方说是吧？
那情况不会先把的，你不会那样那先不当就当啊，
你不会，这这个什么？这不当的谁帮了是吧？是，当的是的，当的你希望的帮，希望你不容易，
情况不会先把的，
我是个不会先把的啊，
你不的话，但先就当呀，
当是吧？那你不能最当的了，你最当的了，你不得了吧？那谁也当是吧？对吧？
So that is why you should cultivate the intention referred to as applications or effort as its antidotes. So previously we talked about 5 faults and 8 applications. And one of the faults is non-applications. When laxity or excitement arises in your concentration, if you do not apply antidotes to eliminate them, then this non-application becomes a fault. So then we need to cultivate the antidotes, which is intention to abandon laxity or excitement. And this intention is referred to as applications or effort. So to explain this, the intentions to abandon laxity or excitement, it is to tightening your mind to the objects of observation is the intention. So the intentions to tighten mind to the object of observations is the intention.
我们一个简单一个什么学是吧？简单一个的，刚才心理是吧？那刚才心理我自己学的，那刚才心理解决，你也说你那么看到，心理我了，我们是个的，你也是吧？英国是不的，也是你对嘛学是吧？那现在我也是对嘛学是吧
？Yeah, so to tighten the intentions of our mind, to tighten our mind. Tightening our mind to the objects of observations when laxity arises is intentions. That explains here. So this has 2 points: identifying intention and the way it stops laxity and excitement, and identifying the causes that give rise to laxity and excitement.
当然是规定是先把搞的现在，当然是 那情况上，公众嘛去公众外或者是什么事情啊？可能比如你
公众外或什么
公众外，公众谁从或者公众外有人是经有啊，那公众上什么事情啊？那这里的呢，什么事的？你的什么考虑呢？生活观就是不一致的，有的没有你的电话呢，生活观是连接是，那谁的吧？有的没有的，没的，那个考虑的你觉得？sympathy结果呢？sympathy 包括我们嘛做 sympathy 毛个吧，是，然后你就说还是，是吧？别个给罗马这个小看看结果呢，看结果呢，那就是 sympathy 不会，不接触的是 sympathy 把那个给人，就你说，我小看的结果呢，你不 sympathy 吧，也就 sympathy 把有啊。那现在的白白呢？生活上的东有的了，也没有像人家我也是，我也是，我那心里搞的是呢，还不忘了心里关的是，心里搞的是白呢，哇，现在的也现在的也忘了，那他妈的，现在的你六的，心里给忘了，心里给忘了，那个如果心里也是。你不我啊，你没有的身体不我啊，是忘了信息，忘了心理，那个不管是什么的，我什么的，什么的一点忘了吧，写的就也是，什么的一点忘了吧，写的这个嘛，那不不用了，为啥写都用了？
Compendium of Abhidhamma asks, what is intention? Is the mind creating karmic formations, activity of the mind that causes the mind to get involved in virtue, non-virtue, or something neutral? So this is the nature of intentions. Just to share with you the explanations mentioned in the mind and mental factors that we have learned before. So what is intention? It is a compositional mental actions of the mind. It has the functions of engaging the mind in virtue, non-virtue, or the unspecified or neutral. We'll go back to our text. Yep. So this is what it means here. What is intention? Then the mind creating karmic formation and etc. up to this point. So that means intention is the mental factors that moves the mind and impels it to something virtuous, non-virtuous, or neutral, like iron move without control under the power of neglect. And so you should understand it as the intentions that motivates the mind to eliminate either laxity or excitement when they occur. So this intentions is the one that moves the mind to the virtuous object, to the non-virtuous object, or to the neutral object. So in this context, this intention moves the mind. When laxity or excitement arises in our concentration, this intention moves our mind to eliminate laxity or excitement. So the one who moves our mind, or the one who impels our mind to eliminate laxity or excitement, is intentions. The mental factors is intention. Without intentions, the mind, by its own power, cannot engage in the actions of or in the action or activity of eliminating laxity or excitement. So by the power of intention, it moves our mind to eliminate laxity or excitement when they arise.
那对了，我考虑就我们家长的话，我其实别人下午多，他们就是那么写的，现在遇到把幼儿现在的三八的也是过去那个三八的也是吧，这个例子呢，那现在的你小了把你经历的三八的，你小了把你经历的三八的，这个我那罗马给了把你经历幼儿现在国外现在那个国外现在的三八的也是。那对于那些我看了就不要说，我没办法，是这个事情，我听了我没写这个，你看看，也不给他摆，然后我们举个阶级给的，就什么三百里几个，也是，我是吧，也是，我的你现在搞的什么呢？别管了，别管了，是挺有意思，别管了，看看，我经历这个也是，看看，我阶级也是嘛，那实际上我吧。 实际上过啊，我定的的，我讲说公正啊，社会谁能得了？喜欢我他们接触马来西亚的学生领导嘛，是公正，公正话的人肯定不能了吧？这小朋友呢，错的我的公正话过去，谁过去错的没办法，那是你如果马来西亚，你如果他不讲谁方面啊，不是你都他不讲。那错的给谁的电话多了的，我也有意思。那现在是。现在都没办法，谁不能有感觉的话，如果呢，我有重要。那现在的话，我看能这，我们过哪些，过哪快不去，别什么，那这个以前我抢了是，那么谁参访过的观众啊，有的时候你直接点的，没事的，人家也很多。
Same sama lah, ini di
我观众那个抢到，谁参访过的有的时候是吧？那原来呢，谁这个消息都有。
An example mentioned here is like iron moving without control under the power of a magnet. So previously when we learned about 5 omnipresent factors, and we talked about 5 omnipresent factors accompanies all mind, and each omnipresent factor has their own functions. For example, one of the omnipresent factor is feeling. So without the omnipresent factor of feeling, the mind doesn't have the ability to experience a pleasant and unpleasant feeling. So with the omnipresent factor of feeling, minds experience a pleasant and unpleasant feeling. So similarly here, when we talk about intentions, so intention is one of the 5 omnipresent factors. And the functions of intention is to move mind to a virtuous action, for example, to a non-virtuous actions, or to an unspecified or a neutral actions. So without omnipresent factor of intention, the mind doesn't engage in those actions. So with the omnipresent factor of intention, the mind is moved to virtuous actions, non-virtuous actions, or neutral actions. Therefore, the example here is that it is like an iron moving without control under the power of a magnet.
那对我说，罗尼克是被罗尼克是谁修的？工作嘛是学出来的话，我工作嘛是理解的了，我那个是必须没有办法的，有啊。
And so we have already talked about intentions in mind and mental factors, right? When we talk about 5 omnipresent factors.
那个心经国啊，什么这些修的啊，那你把刚才心经国跟国之间的是吧？是修的啊。那个希望不光我什么写的啊，那我自己写的啊。
So next it talks about how to stop laxity and excitement.
那是希望的六那个的，是他那个那个呢，你看这个，那个六那个是那个有点的希望的那个也是那个吧，希望的那个是那个地道吧，因为我的可能希望的那个也是吧，
你忘记你讲我那个，
我希望那个是那个吧，现在叫地道，然后地道的，那上然后地道的希望那个也是吧，因为地道这个的是明白的可能等上是吧，我。
A mind that is lax has withdrawn inward too much and lost its apprehensions of the object. So if our mind is withdrawn too much inwardly, then laxity will arise. And when laxity arises, objects of observation, there is no clarity in our objects of observation.
那你看到希望这样，还是在于工作性的那些，你不丢的嘛，这经大，我把它明白是你说你还希望过上去啊，你去，那这嘛是我都希望的，你要是把社会改变过来，你也希望多上去，希望把改开始去，是吧？那对吧？是社会就改变不一来晓得，上去过他们理解给我们是必须的话，那生活就找的。你找的，大概的希望的领域的话，是那种你找的，那是把学的把出过去，还有我是把那个，那种你找的也看希望是成了的，是吧？是那种你找的个希望那个就了啊，是那种你找的没有吧？我希望的领域的，那是把学看过去， 시원 카드게 그거. 근데 교가 이제 시고 들어와. 교가 이제 시고 막 시원 도당 이제 시고 들어와. 교가 파사야 이제 시고. 세가 실존에 가 요거 이라는 거 요거서 맞아 선지고 다. 다시 내무지야 가 이거 이제 시고 말다. 다시 내무지야 가 이거 나다. 이제 시고 말와. 아가 이거서 다 선지고 다. 선지고 다 이제 그래서 선지고 무슨 도리 있는 거 나와. 이게 또 가와. 세대 또 받아와 보니 이런 때까지 시간 상고 일단 시간 상야 되시고 이거 상야 되시고 이 사고 되시고
Yeah, so when laxity arises in our concentrations, our objects of observations become unclear. Or another way of saying this is lacks clarity in our objects of observations. So for that reason, the first stages of meditation says that you should attend to a cause for the mind to move outward again, and uplifting phenomenon. So specifically, it should be something like the Buddha's body rather than something arousing that give rise to mental afflictions. So, so when we withdrawn our mind too much inwardly, then laxity will arise. So we need to cause our mind to draw outwards. So we need to draw our mind outwards because we have withdrawn too much inward, right? So now we need to draw our mind outwards. And the way to draw our mind outwards is through meditate, thinking about Buddha's body or something that uplifts our mind. So here you use the word uplifting phenomenon, right? He also refers to those delightful objects. So delightful objects such as Buddha's body, the qualities of Buddha's speech and mind, and etc. So we need to live our mind through thinking about his Buddha's body, speech, and mind, and etc. So to draw our mind outwards, so that in order to eliminate laxity. So this is the method to eliminate laxity when we have withdrawn our mind too much.
어디서도 그 연대배 단지서다 참받는지 수도가 나한테 가면 가버려는 저때 서로 땅을 파시원 상 좋아 그 상지식 구수도지 연대다 이게 많이 지나서 받는 거야 저때 가 연대서 가르라 파사로 땅바이나 그런데 그 시원 상치 좋아 시원 파스 배치 뭐 상마 좋아
And is rather than something arousing that gave rise to mental affliction. So we're not thinking about something that will give rise to attachment, not refer to those objects that will give rise to attachment, but something that's delightful and uplifting and can draw our mind outwards, such as Buddha's body, speech, and mind, or according to your preference, you can even cultivate loving kindness, compassion, or bodhicittas. So you can generate these delightful objects or uplifting objects for a short while to draw your mind outwards in order to eliminate laxity.
근데 그 인물들은 상호단이 근데 시원상해지다. 한는 제만 이야기시네. 시원상해 이게 뭐 좋아. 그 대단히 이게 뭐네. 나가 뭐 제만 써서 가서 되는 대로 내가 보다 무슨 까보 발효해서라서 받으니 외세도 까보 이사라 상호단이 상호디 나시와서 같이 상호래. 좋아. 외세도 까보 이렇게 까보 이래서 이사라 상호단이 이렇게 신을 봤어. 그렇지. 근데 시원상하네. 핵심이 다들 되게와. 뭐 미상하지. 와. 나도 보이라 스토리 시원상하지. 너희 제마 너희 집에서 외세 까보았어. 너 까보았어. 이게 상황이 시원상하지. 이게 이제 와.
So to stop laxity or the method to eliminate laxity, there are two. Two methods are presented here. The first one is to think about something uplifting or something delightful. And the second one is, as it says on the text, alternatively, if you clear away the laxity by focusing on a sign of light, such as sunshine, that should immediately tighten the way you apprehend the objects and maintain it. So besides thinking about delightful objects, such as Buddha's body, we can also think about something bright, or in this text it says sign of light, such as sunshine, such as moonlight, or something. So by thinking about this, it is also a way to eliminate laxity.
那学了三个那个呀，我马上这个呢，也这多少钱是吧？学了三个的，也得这个不是这个我干啥是吧？我是这个来给这学会是吧？那学了三个的两三百呀，你把它把什么当的，那就没是个，是吧？三个的，然后当然这个呢，这样子我们是吧？我这不是，因为咱们这个呀，啊，不要我学我们来去，对不对？ 那打不起来是，结果的国内的虽然都是个吧，结果就跟人家也变得好多啊。
Yeah, so this is in the context of cultivating concentrations, right? So after we apply the methods, for example, thinking about uplifting objects or delightful objects, or thinking about lights, then when laxity is eliminated, we need to quickly tighten our way of apprehensions of the objects. Instead of just relax, say we think about lights already, then laxity is eliminated, then we just stay relaxed, not thinking about anything. So this is not the proper way to do so. So after you think about lights, or after you think about delightful objects such as Buddha's body, and the laxity is eliminated, then we need to quickly tighten our mind to the objects of observations. So this is in order to prevent laxity from arising again. So this is the proper way to do so.
我的工作是说的，是这里面把工作没得，你这些时候市场的里面就下来，原来希望都不嘛是我吧，希望都嘛的是，有些的是哪就是吧，对于把下来嘛是吧，对于把工作下来嘛，这个是人希望上嘛希望。 这第二个点下来是吧？有些市场的对比就是是吧？那我说的东西现在就把原来记的，晚上洗面花变化是更我喜欢是，吧？喜欢是好些地方是吧？我这个我的，你觉得我个东西我这个你白天的我吧，就是吧？你都对对，这个那样学吧，我是觉得我的，那喜欢的是吧？
So in this situation, the situation refers to when your mind is withdrawn too much inward. So in this situation, do not meditate on a disenchanting object because disenchantment is a cause for the mind to withdraw inward. So in this situation, if you were to meditate on something disenchanting, such as something disenchanting, then it will only cause your mind to withdraw further inwardly. So and you will not be able to eliminate laxity. So do not meditate on this enchanting object in this situation. So however, if you analyze any object you wish to analyze with fine investigative wisdom and feel enthusiasm, this will reverse laxity, as it says in the compendium of the perfections. When there is sinking, uplift the mind through the power of effort in special insight or wisdom.
那个地方的事情真大，但是我都是，那就这些呀，吧？事情真大呀，对不对？希望的是吧？
心理紧张对不痛？
知道呀，对不痛呀？没打的，我打啥对不是吧？
你他是什么人？
我到底他是
他是几个？
明白了，对不对？
明白。 Nanti di kasan nang wit sema da, ini di gawe yu da, gawe yu nang wit sema, na ini di sing di cinta.
Oh,是我到等到那以前嘛，没听人话，那以前，我
那以前，
那的希望
哦，本来
我们是的秘书啊，当不的多少，但你把当不的那是改的，那以前嘛，你有什么？
哦，我得当不的，
我得当不的话，是吧？你个当不的话。 实际我是这个想，但实际我们自己的许多啊，我给他看看当不了什么，明白？但你把实际我的，我什么事啊？对，是吧？他讲的是我的行吧？但你的概念不一样，是的，那什么的是希望我的行吧？那的你把的， 那实际上是干错了。
So the first two, as uplifting, thinking about an uplifting or delightful objects, and thinking about lights. These are grouped as one method. The first method to eliminate laxity, and the second method to eliminate laxity is by uplifting our mind's way of apprehension. Uplift the yeah. So the second method is to uplift our mind, our mind's ways of apprehensions. In other words, is lighten our mind's weight of apprehension.
That's the matter of the maybe in the more so the right, that's not. Maybe in the more goes, the more goes, that the little you are. She was maybe in the more so the Shua. I don't know the deep of the Shubas. I put Shubba the Shwan in general. That time was she wanted Shubba and the Chibari. The teacher and the Chibari. Let's see to the much natural. Maybe in the more breaker. All goes that unheard was that they do. All heard teaching him. Listen, this is a Haja and all the due time the fish was at the place. This one.
Without that they need
you know, that's for the water still. That's it. She wasn't similar.
So in general, laxity and sinking, they are synonymous. However, to give the etymological explanations on laxity or sinking, and on the text it says, this laxity, lax, so refer to laxity. So laxity because the apprehensions of the object has diminished. So diminished or has loosened. And it is sinking because it has withdrawn inward too much. So to give the etymological explanations on laxity and sinking, and this is the explanation. The apprehensions of the object, the apprehensions of the object has diminished or is loose, and it is sinking because it has withdrawn inward too much. Therefore, it is counteracted by the enthusiasm upon lifting the mind of apprehension and expanding the objects. So, uplifting the minds of apprehensions is antidotes to laxity, and expanding the object is antidotes to sinking. So, uplifting the minds of apprehensions, in other words, can be lightening the minds of apprehensions, and expanding the objects is antidotes to sinking, because sinking is it has withdrawn too much inward, right? Then the antidotes to it is to expand it or to cause it to draw outwards. So to expand the objects means to draw the mind outwards. And here Rinpoche quoted the essence of the middle way. Say when he sings and expand the mind through meditation on spacious objects and uplift it by seeing the benefits of joyous effort. So here Rinpoche quoted essence of the middle way to support this point.
事情，那他不就是那个，我说，你忘记第二个现在平安上头国家我们不去修了的话，不就是你被平安的，事情对吧？大瓦姐就把这层给全部的投白呢，不要全部，不要全部就对了，利益的，是吧？然后等你就这三个钟的公布的时候的话，我的那就是投白呢，大概这样子，到了生活当，这生活当中，我的话，没有啊，没有多，我说，弄得去掌握，当然，弄把它去，你休息个，都去掌握休息到白呢，我是我。你是我们知道，那不，你考虑嘛说，如果去掌握晓得，你逻辑是对的，是吧？我那么多少去掌握，什么思维些大概怎么对是吧？那掌握对是吧？我去掌握到那，这个呢，你什么东西的问题？你东西，那么我点过的，对，我是是吧？
我来人哋我呢啲動物哋超超
我那希望我也喜欢，希望那个的，希望三分多，掌握我的。我是吧？我看到视频，说的那些人接多就可了，是接关系的关可能就是朋友的这边原地，今年就可能原地，我老公为了可能原地，别人支持我看，这块给你是我不知道的，是不是的话，我起码上个月是，那得去，他希望说他起码到某个地步啊。
So there are various ways to stop laxity, right? And here is talks about the most important antidotes for stopping laxity is as follows. So, when you contemplate the benefits of the three jewels and bodhicitta, as well as the excellent qualities of the precious freedoms you have gained and the like, it could be as effective for refreshing your awareness as cold water splashed in the space of someone asleep. This depends on the experience you have gained through your analytical meditation or fine investigation on beneficial topics. So the most important method or antidote to stop laxity is to contemplate the benefits of the three jewels. For example, when we take refuge, then we listen to the explanations on the benefits of relying on three jewels, right? And then we also can think about bodhicitta, compassions, as well as the excellent qualities of the precious freedoms. So here, precious freedoms refer to our freedoms and endowments. This precious immeasurable. So, like for example, the freedoms and endowments that we have when we have these precious immeasurable, and think about the rarity of attaining precious immeasurable, when we also think about the great importance and also the great goals that we can achieve through this precious immeasurable. So you think about this, and then it is effective for refreshing your awareness. Refreshing your awareness also means to eliminate laxity. So as cold water splashed in the space of someone asleep. Here the example given is cold water splashed in the face of someone asleep. Is mentioned as an example. However, later then you will see that washing your face with cold water is actually also a way to eliminate laxity. Here is explained as an example. Later, surely washing your face with cold water is also a way to stop laxity. So when darkness has fallen on your mind and the objects become unclear, then what should we do? So the next paragraph explains this.
내가 되게 시원치 정말 시원 또 그게 있었다. 그거 너 그거 얼마 내가 뭐야 얼마 그거 뭐다 간다. 뭐보다 니다 이 비비오는 뜻이야 맞아 뭐보다 다시 근데 하는 거이다. 그런데 뭐 하는 뭐 스테이는 뭐 시도와
When you apply the antidote meditation on light to the causes that reinforce the development of laxity, lethargy, sleepiness, and mental states with an aspect of ness that induce those two, the laxity that depends on them does not arise, and that which has already arisen is reversed. So these are the two causes that give rise to laxity, lethargy, and sleepiness. And the aspects of darkness that is induced by this lethargy and sleepiness. And in order to give rise to laxity, so in order to eliminate laxity, then we need to meditate on light.
다들 있잖아 나서 가리지 리니모 가르테 보스나 리니모 딘도 그래서다 제가 봐봐다 나의 제목이라서다 저는 무슨 뭐 이렇게 시원히 저는 잡아서 봐
Dalam cawa di ini yang sushi lagi
그거 자신으로
Kadang nang wa kumia di yang jiro.
뭐 믿는 거야 디랍도 그래서 맞아요 그냥 이게 뭐야 나 병원 좋아해 가지고 이거 아 진짜 야라 와 내가 내가 월식 제가 운동을 하는 게 맞아서 내가 뭐 이렇게 예 안다 시험이 미스 그거 나 되게 너무 신내고 돼 내가 뭐요 미치로 미치로 뭐 제마 이제 그래서 그때 진짜 리 받자 처음으로 미팅 받다 봐 처음으로 받다 봐 강릉으로 받다 이 진짜 거의 한번 리파 받다 받은 거 기와이나 그러니까 받상 했어 이제 그래서 와 이거 마시고 이년도 제대로 듣게 시고도 와 이게 또 나가서 사실 이게 막 주딩이 이제 또 와 우리 이제 스테마 아지 스테마스 나 제대로 듣게 이게 그거 그래서 também 봐 상 그래서 이게 시고도 와 뭐 리스트 이게 시고 사실 보여지니 봐 세트 받다 시고도 와
So besides meditate on light to eliminate this laxity that caused by lethargy and sleepiness, then Stravaka levels also talks about other methods. For example, going for a walk. So basically, you walk here. You walk, take a walk, or move around, or lie down, or even sit down or stand up. And so you do some physical activities of moving around. And you take to mind the characteristics of light and familiarizing oneself with them again and again. So here also talks about the methods such as go to a place and there's you can see snow mountain from afar, or go to a mountain area. So you go to a place where it's very vast. So this will also eliminate laxity. And you also uplifting the mind with any of the 6 recollections. So you recollect the 3 jewels, body, speech, and mind. So Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Not body, speech, and mind. Sorry, 3 jewels refer to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So you recollect of Buddha, you recollect of Dharma and Sangha. So this makes 3 recollections already. And then on top of that, then you recollect ethics, generosity, and deities, or other objects for greater clarity.
어디 그래서 거기 아까 미비 넘어대 와 상황과 신은 뭐고 받아 이거 싫어 와 상황들이 다 디지털로 힘이 들어온다 나간다 스테라 스테라 받다 문다 미비 때문에 뭐저다 나서 어디 있어 뭐 들어가나 고스티 샤워대 그러니까 이게 샤워는 başına doğru해서 그렇게 우리 님이 때문에 취해들이 여러 다 간다가 집안에 다 간다 싫으니 몰라서 어떤 상황이 있어 갈때 뭐 remember ina so kan da mu ni mi su se che wa ye wa wo da de bi che da du ba ba sho no ba di ko su ba ri sa sho be ko ka wa ina pa ni bi an go che ta da wa ka ba la su ni pa ka ha do la chu mo shi wa mo chu mo shi wa so be di ba ina wa da di 기와 도래 다 무슨 상황 치와도 나서 디기다 뭔가 야 하고 같이 그래 그때 다 땡이들 양바지 그때 시원에 그바데 우리 그 도마도 세 하정 보고봐 나시게 아니 내용이 오빠 상샤리 지야 이게 뭐 상샤리 이거 무슨 건지 이제 보고가 시원에 우리 나서 세미가 탄탄 뭐 바지 그거 시원 뭐 그러고 나서 세미 쳤어 Mama kami ya goba ka ba ni ka sa ta
goba ka tu ya de
pa tu ya ma se ya to da ni goba ti go wa ma ti ma go goba ka pa ni ka su to ka ni ku ni ke go ma so so pe ti se pe mo to pe ka ka le ke uri ma cha sha ne ti se mo se wa ga ma tu ba de o ga ma tu ba ti ka origine para la gente do sistema. Mas tipo aí na tanto muito cada aquele chicar do bacá que é uma mentira tá com ele. Boa.
Na di ka kulam chawara ni di nawa se ba den so ni di ni mu ni jianbie chingwa de yana de chingwa ji ton 我记住了，
这档结果呢，不嘛对吧？对吧？比较现在希望通过这个对吧？是吧？那等这些样现在是累了的，看着那这些对还是过，那么说我拿对，我就今天是我个了，对，希望来我的呀，现在第一上头呢，希望给他，要个把我今天是公司去了，要么现在第一这个马上要个不搞对。这是他是我电话都接过，我那边要是第一，我他们喜欢的，我不是钱，到嘛对吧？那就不利用的，那个是，我说骗人，谁他们那个个是希望觉得嘛，他那样真的不多上的，所以就多，我那等这个你起我的看的的
，and other methods as well as other methods, as it says on the text, as well as reciting Dharma teachings such as Heart Sutra and other Dharma texts on the forms of lethargy and sleepiness, and looking in various directions or at the moon and the stars, splashing one's face with water and so forth. So when laxity arises in one's mind, that we are unable to eliminate them by way of tightening our mind. So when laxity arises when we do meditations, when laxity arises in our mind, then it doesn't mean that we have to immediately rise from the meditation and then go and do these practices. It doesn't mean like that. It means that when you are when you are in the meditations, and then when laxity arises in your mind, then you need to leave your mind a little bit by thinking about those, by tightening your way of apprehensions in order to eliminate if excitement arises in your mind, then you need to relax a little bit, to loosen a little bit, relax a little bit your way of apprehensions, your way of apprehensions. So if you do your meditations for a long time, that when laxity or excitement arises in your mind, and you are unable to eliminate them anymore, so then you pause your meditations, and then you rise from your meditation, and then you pause, and then you get up, and then you move some practices as mentioned here. For example, go look in the various directions, look at the snow mountain, look at the moon and the stars, or wash your face. So here it says splashing one's face with water. So here is really washing your face with water to eliminate the laxity. Then once the laxity has subsided, then you continue your meditation. So when you're unable to eliminate your laxity or excitement anymore, then you shouldn't insist on doing meditation. So you should pause and then do the search devices. And then once laxity has subsided, then you continue your meditations.
这我也这个都是有问题嘛，说别马上人可能有可能，他不是这回呢，别悄悄话呢，你这三个呢，第三个呢，马上好了，那是说当不定过的嘛，要是的，对了，就是会没把是说能上哈国的，那上这个是，上我学的，不马上马上把它早点，这些马上在是。然后这样是上了网大班呢，也不会，就那就就把龙头啊，但是说那两看到，其他可能我说我过去，但是说是听了那，小话的，哇，是哈国的吧，我看到我的，你看我看到那个谁也是那，也是现在看那个什么现在都哪来的，哈国就是哈国的啊，哎呀，那个老大你听嘛说啥啊？差不多一不上，就是哈国去的，当然是看那个没看，那个看那个什么单位的，那看那个什么单位，企业嘛，我对不起，对呀，因为是哈国的是天，他那个属于天的，对不对？这个没错，我这个是是吧？对，我也好。Yeah,
so this actually I can tell from my experience. For example, when I recite a Yamataka Sadhana, so at first I have to remind myself that I shouldn't remind myself that I should focus my mind on the sadhana, on the prayers, instead of thinking about something else. So if I do not, remind ourselves in this way, so when I recite the prayers and this point, then my mind will be distracted and thinking about something else. Even though my mouth is reciting the prayers, my mind has gone to somewhere else already. So it's thinking about something else already. So you have to first you also have to notice it. So notice that I'm distracted. I'm distracted to something else already. So you have to remind yourself that this is false, and then I need to stop it. Then to remind yourself in this way, then to draw your mind back to the prayers. If not, and then distraction will arise easily in my prayer recitation as well. So it's something that I can tell from my own experience.
never so happily, but my year of half minutes.
So this, because when I recite the prayers, then sometimes I also distracts sometimes. Distractions also happens to me. So when distraction happens, then you must quickly recognize it. Know that distractions has happened. Then you have to pull your mind back quickly. So think in your mind that don't follow that thought. Then you just don't follow that thought. Then pull your mind back to the prayers. So and then also remind yourself, or even have a determinations in your mind that I will not get distracted until I finish the prayer. So I will not get distracted again until I finish this prayer. So you have to have certain determinations in your mind. Also reminds you that don't follow the thought. So understand that you all have many activities in your life, then you have many works and things to think about, and then distraction also happens. So when it happens, then you have to quickly recognize it and then remind yourself, don't follow that thought, and then have some certain determinations in your mind that not get distracted again till I finish this prayer.
那我为什么回来让这个撒旦能行那个，我这个我们说他国家的那法国嘛，呀这个是我讲到了，就是生活那个叫什么呀？那样式的一种就是，你看就说，这样超过去些，要不然给他给超过去了，对你身体也有，我说撒旦了怎么这样的？我讲到他是的。我读完了，这是什么呀？学一点，对对，是吧？我们结果学一点，那让大家听我们听，是吧
？Also just to let you know that something else happens to me when I recite prayers. Sometimes I'm in a rush, then I want to quickly finish the prayers. Then distractions also happens easily to me. So. And however, if I have time and then when I recite the prayers, then I take some time to reflect on the meaning of the prayers, and this somehow will also reduce the distractions.
我当时两个是，那什么呢？反正阳光在那生活对这个也有，我也有，我打下去，所以说那个情况下，他看这个要我马上的那个现在的。
Yeah, so honestly speaking, when I'm busy, like for example, thinking about some events, for example, that I have things to do, then I want to quickly finish my prayer. Then distractions happens easily in my prayers, for example.
Oh, the that was dealing with that, not dealing with the kitchen, what you 제발 너무 하시는 거 그래서 뭐 신이 같이 시험 따고 지나 힘이 지고 말때 뭐 이렇게 뭐뭐 이렇게 뭐 간디 제발에 상담을 봐 네가 하고 있는데 그거 그만하면 좋아 뭐 간디 제발이나 뭐 때가 뭐를 무디비 하나 더 되는 있다 와 무슨 네가 그 미리 신이라 따야 말이야 내가 뭐 제공을 누구를 요구를 누구를 힘이 요구를 해서 그러와 힘이 요구를 요거만 생각해서 제공을 하라고 요구 하라고 와
Yes, here we are in the context of discussing shamatha or time abiding, right? And time abiding is a type of stabilizing meditations. However, whatever we are discussing here in this topic also applies to all types of meditations. So even includes analytical meditations as well. So all these are applicable in all types of meditation. So please pay good attention to it. And next class, we are going to talk about the difference between the coarse and subtle difference between. So next, we are going to talk about the difference between the coarse and subtle anxiety and excitement. Just now here it talks about So just now we talk about we need to think about meditate on light, or we think about the qualities of Buddha, body, speech, and mind, bodhicitta, compassion, and etc. in order to eliminate complexity, right? So and then we also talk about we shouldn't think about the objects of attachment. So even though objects of attachment do say uplift your mind. So when you think about someone you like or an object that you like, it does uplift your mind. However, it will become a harm to your meditations, because it doesn't mean that you leave your mind and then you stop the meditations, right? Because when when laxity arises, then you think about object, uplift your mind. If you were to think about effects of attachment, even though it does uplift your mind, it will become a harmful force to your meditations. You still need to continue your meditations, right? So if you were to think about the objects of attachment, it will harms the following meditations. Therefore, it is not advisable to meditate on objects of attachment, even though it does leave your mind.
Yeah,
so if you have any questions before we end class. So if you have no questions, then next class we are going to talk about the difference between the coarse and subtle laxity and excitement. So please continue to play.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Is it too late?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm the only one who's asking a lot of questions, so I don't want to ask it too soon. My question is about thoughts. Thoughts are very natural. I mean, they arise in our minds all the time. So sometimes not to have thoughts, distracting thoughts like, getting excited, but exciting thoughts or distracting thoughts. What I'm trying to say is there are some techniques of shamatha taught by others who actually suggest that you actually spend, before you actually start a shamatha meditation, to spend your mind first on the breath, and using the breath, the in and out of the breath, to let go of your discursive thoughts. Because thoughts are just, they are just rambling and they just come and go all the time. And we even when we get up in the morning, by the time we sit down and start our meditation, the thoughts are already, your head is full of thoughts of what you need to do for the day. So they actually suggest that focusing on the breath first, to stabilize your mind, to calm your mind, letting go of thoughts with your breath, and then once you come to a state of a peace touch, to a state after like 21 breaths, in and out breaths, then only to start a shamatha meditation. Does Krishna recommend that?
Hindi na yana tiang di isi paru na di li wai na yu ti wai na tiang thoma 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 na di pingi ro di paru isi di paru na di li wai na ji gui di paru na li wai na zo ko mia di pingi
那这个是出的苹果就是是吧？这个苹果呢，那这个小的给把料可能，这个容易不高兴。我说这那那个苹果的是吧？因为的，反正你不搞起来，你不搞可能你对不啦？那你不吃不吧？你不行啊，怎么这边写上了我我来这块我我什么我那什么我吧？我听到是，你我觉得可比中国里面不。那这样子。Yeah,
meditations on breathing at the beginning before you actually start your meditations. If your mind is very, a lot of distracting thoughts in your mind, doing breathing meditations definitely helps calm down your mind. So after your mind has come down, then you start your meditations, and that is very good. So when you're in the meditation sessions, during meditation sessions, if there are a lot of distractions during the meditations, breathing meditations might help a little bit, but it would be better to apply the direct antidotes to eliminate anxiety or excitement respectively.
Thank you.
Okay, the text is also says that breathing meditations is very good when our mind is very much distracted. I'm saying a lot of discursive thoughts happens. Then it's very good to do breathing meditations. However, is breathing meditations necessary? You must do every time you start your meditations. Then it's not necessary. Depends on your mental states.
Okay, Krishna.
Oh yeah, meditation. That meditation.
We stop here. We conclude with dedication. We dedicate the roots of virtue accumulated, especially through these Dharma lessons, may be the complete cause for Buddha Dharma to flourish and all sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, namely His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long with excellent health conditions, and may all their holy wishes be accomplished instantaneously, and may their enlightened activities be spread in all directions. In particular, we dedicate these roots of virtue to our beloved teacher, and now with great kindness, Lama Rinpoche. So may the holy wishes of Rinpoche be accomplished instantaneously, and may the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche be swiftly returned and continue to return the wheel of Dharma for the sake of teachings and sentient beings, so that we will have the opportunity to receive the precious teachings from you again, Rinpoche. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace, and may excellent happiness prevail in the world. May wars, conflicts, disaster, natural disaster be pacified immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who suffer and those who pass away, may especially to them, and may their negativities be pacified immediately and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. 给我的天堂中，我苦恼抗变当，给我这份罗桑照好一点没你莫人都在接受，真有人不接嘛给帮那给究竟，给把娘妈没把呀，可能工作没完说。千把当古努上坡这样的心的对他跟给接受到，也给我的他当接让度母。让人不接嘛接把那给究竟，给把娘妈没把呀，可能工作没完说。mi tawa rinpoche ma ke panang che kyu chi ke ba nya ma me ba yang ko ne kon do be wa shu yin che song do ju be lang chi che se se gang che che ju guen cha na be mo ten jing ya zo la so na de so xian de lu du shu ne ben de ma lu ba ka le yung wei sam be yi xin no ka den zu me ten jing ya zo la so na de so du xie lu du shu fe de ne ge ni ra zu lo sang jiao wei le si kyu fu ji ran ya xin ge ge yu ma lu be de de mu ma zu be ge le zu在诸天人波界，适当诸位自己被瓦了，那样必须是被国家在诸面之尊拉玛所瓦的，那就就为国界波给为的那么给主瓦一天，阿基督做帕这边木多可惜瓦西的一来帮我当修中叫做进拉当，开始当地对给拉波界，培养路上被尊给上度界被度有些主，依然为各位新港的平当的瓦马对中为年轻人是马的这个作为。Is step or do thank you. Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kishla. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, guys.